Call la Alhay now Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah Hamashiach Wamalakia by Hashem Harawat Kakurash Barakatham, the water by Babal Kwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily. To the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine that say you shalom. Today we're gonna get into a video whereas you got this Edomite woman. She's pretty much breaking down all the January 6 offenders and how they were pardoned, and most of them are back in jail. See, that shows you right there that Psalms chapter 75, Salakia, chapter 73, verse 5 is true. They're not in trouble like other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Now, this is another testament to the fact that Edom cannot learn righteousness, which automatically disqualifies them from being fit to rule. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all seeing that scripture come to life about how they're unfit to rule. Because look at your president. Look at all the wrong decisions he has been making for the past going on a year now. But yet Edomites have the power to do something about this corrupt, compromised president, yet they don't. That automatically disqualifies them from being fit to rule, because when we were in rulership, we punished our own Israelites. Israelites punished Israelites for breaking laws, statutes, and commandments. Edomites don't punish Edomites, not like they should anyway. They get a slap on the wrist, if that. So that in itself disqualifies them from being fit to rule. So let's get this video, and this Edomite woman, she's going to break down every offense that these January 6 offenders have broken and what their charges are for being in jail again after they were pardoned. They cannot learn righteousness, which automatically, once again, disqualifies them from being fit to rule. But first, let's get this copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's go ahead and get the video. All right. The name of this video is Make Babylon Great Again, huh? The complete opposite. Babylon is divided, especially you Edomites. And this is true. So you still got a MAGA account. I'm like, they ain't learned their lesson yet. But oh well, let's get it.
Hey everybody, it's been 5 years since the January 6th attack on the Capitol and nearly a year since Donald Trump pardoned everyone involved. So what have these lucky folks been doing with their second chances? Well, I've been keeping tabs on them so you don't have to. And what I've found is that dozens of them have continued to commit crimes. I'm Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. Here are some highlights from my research. At least 5 pardoned January 6 rioters have returned to prison for crimes involving the sexual exploitation of children. Theodore Middendorf pleaded guilty to predatory sexual assault of a child age 7. He's now serving 19 years in prison. Kyle Colton was convicted of receiving child pornography. He's serving 6.5 years in prison. Andrew Taki pleaded guilty to soliciting sex from a minor. He was sentenced to time served. David Daniel was charged with sexually exploiting a minor and trafficking in child pornography. Andrew Johnson is charged with repeatedly molesting an 11-year-old boy and then trying to silence his victim with a bribe. At least 2 pardoned January 6 rioters are now in prison for killing other people. Emily Hernandez is serving 10 years in prison for killing Victoria Wilson, a 32-year-old mother of 2, in a drunken driving crash. Shane Woods is serving 17 years for reckless homicide after killing Lauren Wegner, a 35-year-old woman, and injuring an elderly couple in a drunken driving crash. Other January 6 rioters are charged with a range of violent crimes. Edward Kelly was sentenced to life in prison for plotting to kill dozens of FBI agents and police officers. Taylor Toronto was convicted of making a bomb threat at the home of Barack Obama. Christopher Moynihan is charged with plotting to kill Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. John Banuelos is charged with aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault of a homeless woman. I could keep going. Some of the pardon rioters have been invited to visit the White House, and one of them, a guy named Jared Wise, is actually working in the Justice Department for the pardon attorney, Ed Martin. This year, we are demanding accountability. So please ask your elected reps why there is a Capitol rioter working inside the Justice Department. Ask them whether they support the president's pardons of child predators and rapists.
Well, the fucking Pentagon.
Now, this right here, this segment is basically talking about how the government is trying to silence the veterans, saying if you talk about what we do, we're going to take your pensions and your benefits. But this is a whole nother video. But I just wanted to get, we might go into this later on in the week, this little segment about how they're trying to silence the veterans. But let's go ahead and get some scriptures on the part we've seen about the January 6ers. So, there it is right there. They cannot learn righteousness. Matter of fact, let's get that one. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will they not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will they deal unjustly and not behold the majesty of the Lord. Okay, no, like, hey, because see, this is the thing about a true spiritual Edomite. They are unable to see the wickedness that they do because they're too busy doing wickedness. It's like breathing to them. They don't see anything wrong with it. You saw the common denominator. About 98% of those people were Edomites. This is Edomite culture, violence, rape. Those were the two main ones. Yeah, violence, rape, and murder. These are the three. And who do they love raping? They love raping the vulnerable. And I think one of the reasons why is because Esau can't get a woman, or at least a woman that he can control. So he has to go down to the next step, a child he can control. It's all about control with Esau. Because in my neighborhood, I don't live in the hood for real. I live mostly around Elamites and Ishmaelites. There's some Edomites too. But this is the thing I noticed. You have the biggest, tallest Edomite men walking the smallest dogs. It's not all the time, but it's enough for me to notice. And I think the root of that starts with control. Esau always has to feel like he's in control, despite the fact that him not knowing what he's doing is irrelevant. It's all about control. Look at Trump. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. This man is compromising, being used all day. Unfit to rule, making dumbass decisions, telling childish lies. I mean, lies so obvious that a child can see that this man is lying. But that's beside the point. The point is, these Edomites will not learn righteousness. They can't because they were not created to be the righteous. They were created to be the wicked. Think about it like this. If the Lord creates a thief, you think that thief gonna be honest? No. The Lord creates a rapist. You think that rapist is not going to rape? No. The Lord creates a murderer. You think that murderer is not going to murder? They're doing what they were created to do. And none of us can be surprised at these acts anymore. Matter of fact, you'd be better off anticipating Esau to do wickedness. You'd be better off expecting your president to lie every time he opens his mouth. Because why? Because that's all he has shown. One of the rules that got me through life What you demonstrate is what I expect. I don't give people credit they haven't earned. So if all you do is lie, guess what? I expect you to do nothing but lie. If all you do is rape, rob, and murder, that's all I expect you to do is rape, rob, and murder. Like I said, what you demonstrate is what I expect. So let's get some scriptures. We start when we bring out that other one again. Psalm chapter 73, verse 5. They're not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Why? Because of Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Cover the faces of the judges thereof, not where and who is he? And then you got Psalm chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Have we not seen this ever since the inception of America itself? You see, the Lord got these people in a trick bag. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they prescribe. Unrighteous decrees, unfair laws. And some of those unfair laws is Donald Trump pardoning rapists, murderers, drug dealers. Anybody that he thinks can help him get rich. Trump does not give a damn about the people of this country. You know why? Because he's too invested in his image. He's too invested in his reputation, which neither one of them is shit because he's one of the world's most hated men right now. So what does all that blood money benefit you if you are hated? You can't go nowhere by yourself. This man can't wipe his own ass, but he's rich. And what? Guess what? This money is worthless. You got so-called rich people worshiping tiny pieces of green paper. And it's like we learned when we was kids. Some people are so broke, all they have is money. They don't know what real riches in life are because they're too busy worshiping pieces of green paper. Now let's go to Daniel. Chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. What is that policy? All those pardons he signed. You know why? Because these people remind Trump of himself. That's why MAGA doesn't have a problem with Trump because Trump reminds MAGA of themselves. That's why they refuse to acknowledge all the wrongdoings that Trump has been doing because they're wrongdoers themselves. Remember birds of a feather flock together? That's MAGA and Trump. They refuse to acknowledge the wickedness of this man because they're wicked. Start again. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. The earth is Salakia. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. By peace destroying many. One of the ways by peace he destroys many, he put these animals back out on the street. And look what they've done to children alone. Not even to mention murder plots. See? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 10. Verse 10. Read little Lord Yahushua speaking. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. This is all they know: kill, steal, destroy. This is what Yahweh Hashem Shah programmed this nation of emotional creatures to do. Now let's go to Proverbs chapter 21, verse 7. This is what makes them unfit to rule. This is one of the many scriptures. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgment. They don't punish their own, first of all. That's why you got so many unruly Edomites in society, because they don't punish their own. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them. All Trump do is steal and lie about it. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them. And part of that robbery of if everybody, every citizen, stealing tax money for ballrooms, which is a bunker. Come on, man. Stop. As scary and as spineless as Trump is, yeah, that's a bunker, dude. And you taxpayers are paying for it. That's robbery. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment. They don't punish their own. Look how bad Trump has got since he's been in office. Look at all the crimes he's been caught committing. 34 felons. Still a free man. Not only is he a free man, but he's the president. Only in the wicked kingdom that can happen. Yeah, the robbery of the wicked shall destroy them. Let's get a precept. Let's go to Second Peter. They're destroying themselves in so many words, and this is going to solidify that. Second Peter chapter 2. Verse 12, but these is natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. And we can go up to verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. See, you got the wickedest of the wicked thinking they're getting away with some shit. No, they're earning their judgment like the rest of the wicked Edomites are, as well as the wicked of the other nations. Even the 2/3 of Israel, they're earning their judgment. Don't be one of those. Let's go to Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore, law is slack, and judgment doth never go forth. See, they don't punish their own. And you wonder why you got all these red savages running around acting a fool. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, wherefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Bam, that disqualifies them from being fit to rule. Because the false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. Babylon is one of the biggest abominations this world will ever see. Let's see what this one is. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 10. The soul of the wicked desire evil. There it is. His neighbor findeth no favor in his eyes. That's all they want to do. Look at the Israelites over there, the knockoffs. All they want to do is evil. All they want to do is rape, rob, and murder, and that's literal. Matter of fact, it was a post put up, I think a video about how Netanyahu stated that the white Americans, quote unquote, must be they got to be dealt with. So yeah, all they want is wickedness, evil. They fuck with Lebanon, they fuck with the Palestinians, but yet they still believe and think that regardless of what they do, they should be praised and worshiped. These people going into captivity. Yeah, those knockoffs over there in our land, they're going into captivity for their wickedness. They're earning their judgment as well. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. We know that's not possible. Ethiopian can't change his skin. A leopard can't change his spots. Therefore, the wicked cannot be righteous. And I know a lot of y'all saying out there the Lord don't make mistakes. You're right, he doesn't. He created the perfect fuck boy. Let's get this one. First Maccabees chapter 1. And this is talking about Alexander the Great, who was an Amalekite. And when he died, his all the territories that he conquered was divided up against his four generals. And you know these four generals did? They murdered Alexander the Great's son so he wouldn't inherit the so-called kingdom. That goes back to Sirach chapter 14, verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? They should not take pleasure in all his goods. But this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 9, talking about what happened after the generals split up the kingdom into four parts. And after his death, Alexander the Great, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. You see, Esau is doing what he's always done: rape, rob, murder, and lie about it. He's not these great war heroes. These are rapists and murderers. And how does Babylon show you that it's wicked? They make statues of these rapists and murderers and slave owners. They call them heroes. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 59. This is originally talking about two-thirds Israelites, but you can easily apply this to the nation of Edom because this is where they get this vile behavior from. Verse 3, for your hands are defiled with blood and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue have muttered perverseness. None calling for justice, nor any pleader for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Verse 6, their wealth shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity. The act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. See, they go there wrongful judgment again. Unfit to rule. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. You can see that right now on the world stage. Anybody who makes deals with the United States, they end up regretting it or getting fucked over or lied to or used or all of the above. That's why Iran is taking such a strong stance because they recognize the pattern of the United States of being fuckboys for real. Now let's get some more wicked behavior. That only Edomites do. Now, I'm about to read some scriptures. You tell me who this reminds you of. Now, once again, this is talking about, originally talking about wicked two-third Israelites. But once again, you can apply this to Esau because this is where they get this wickedness from. It even states it in the scriptures. Let me see, where is it? Once again, this is talking about wicked Israelites, but when I'm reading these scriptures, think about the behavior and the actions of Edomites, because this is where they got it from. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 106. They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes, because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them. Listen to this. But mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yet they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their own sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people. See, Israelites doing this shit. And so much that he abhorred his own inheritance. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjugation under their hand. See, the Lord punished us for doing all this heathenistic shit, like murdering your own children and drinking their blood. This is Edomite culture. That's why the Lord punished us, because we was doing this shit. Let's go to Psalms chapter 2. Salakia, chapter 10. Verse 5. His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight, as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. That's Esau right now today. Anybody who don't look like them, they're gonna lie on you, they're gonna try to murder you, they're gonna try to railroad you to prison. Verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly, as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. It's Esau, always on some sneaky shit, always on some deceptive shit, always trying to get away with something. And the Lord tired of it. The whole world tired of it. One thing you can expect from the White House is lies and murder and destruction and death. That's pretty much a guarantee. Let's go to the Apocrypha, which connects Trump with all this bullshit. Because he pretty much gave the rest of the races the green light to be racist. That's what happened. America's always been this way. Trump just giving them the green light to not hide it. Look at Chud the builder, Jake Lane. The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of his people, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man of the ruler of the city is, so are all they that dwell therein. You got a rapist president, pedophile president, you're going to have rapists and pedophiles in the community. Is that not apparent? Let's see, we can get a couple more and close. Go to the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 3, verse 2. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord Yahweh revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. See, Trump acquitted the wicked. The Lord's not. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. See, Trump acquitted them because they just like Trump. They're all rapists, murderers, pedos, liars. That's right up his alley. Birds of a feather flock together. Let's see what this one is. The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 12. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. That's everybody in the White House. Because everybody in the White House is in agreement to support the last president of Babylon, Yahweh Ratazah. If they're not complying through words, they're complying through action. Look at your Congress, compromised. Your Supreme Court, compromised. Your president, compromised. This is USI, the United Snakes of Israel. But it's funny to me how the majority of Edomites pretend that they don't know this fact to be true, that your president has been compromised. Everybody in that White House, everybody in government commits treason every day. What is treason? Let's get a definition. Treason. Treason is the crime of betraying one's own country by attempting to overthrow its government or materially aiding its enemies. Those who commit treason are known as traitors. And guess what else? In wartime situations, those who commit treason, that's punishable by death in wartime situations. Think about it. This man is intentionally destroying his own country. That's treason. He's not stupid. He's compromised. Israel got him by the balls because of them Epstein files. Now you got to tell yourself this too. Remind yourself that had none of these politicians been on that island committing wickedness, them knockoffs wouldn't have shit on them to blackmail them with in the first place. So they've been wicked anyway. That's how the devil uses you. He uses your wickedness against you. And they were stupid enough to fall for it, thinking they weren't going to get caught, thinking they weren't going to ever surface. Goofies. Let me see if we can close on one more. Let me find a good one. Yep, Wicked Kingdom, man. That's how you know what kind of kingdom you in. If the righteous are persecuted for being righteous, you're in a wicked kingdom. If an honest man is a threat, you in a wicked kingdom. If they're trying to ban your freedom of speech, which is a constitutional right to be a citizen, you in a wicked kingdom. That's what the veterans tripping on. That's why they angry right now. Because the Pentagon has issued a statement. If you talk bad about this government of Trump, they're going to take your money. They're going to take your pension. They're going to take your benefits that you worked your ass off for 20 years in the military. Wicked kingdom. So I got a feeling that the veterans are going to rise up, especially those like Senator Kelly. He's leading the charge in that. He reminded the military that you have the right to disobey an unlawful order. Pentagon tried to demonize for saying that. It's because it's true. You do have a right to disobey unlawful orders. But in the wicked kingdom, you're punished for being righteous. That's why this bitch got to go. And it is going away. Yahweh Ratazar very soon. Because Babylon is burning out everybody. Everybody's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically exhausted. Esau is exhausting. His madness, his insanity is exhausting. He has a talent for turning evil good and good evil. Let's get that in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put sweet for bitter and bitter for sweet. Just like they say the alphabet community is a good thing, but the Lord says otherwise. You got them knockoffs over there in our land, got to celebrate alphabet lifestyle, which the Lord strongly condemns, but they the people. See, that's an example of making evil good and good evil. And anybody who talks about their wickedness, oh, now you evil, you anti-Semitic. Mm-hmm. When the Lord pull up and destroy them, let's see if they're gonna call him anti-Semitic. The rest of these Edomites in Babylon that calls good evil and evil good. Let's see if they're gonna call him anti-Semitic. Let's see if they're gonna call the Lord a terrorist for bringing righteousness and judgment. Call Halayim La Lahaya now Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah Hamashiach Wa Malaki by Hashem Harawat Wakakurash Barakathum the water Baba Wakwam Yasharala. Shalom.